You think you can't focus. You blame your phone. You blame social media. You blame your lack of discipline. You tell yourself that your attention span is broken, that something is wrong with your brain, that you just need more willpower. But the real reason is much deeper and much more uncomfortable than you think. Your brain is not broken. Your focus is not destroyed. You are not lazy. You are overstimulated. Every single day, your mind absorbs more information than humans processed in weeks just a century ago. Notifications, headlines, messages, short videos, background noise, constant scrolling. Your brain never truly rests. Even when you're doing nothing, your mind is still consuming. And here's what that does to you. Every time you scroll, every time you switch tabs, every time you check your phone, your brain receives a tiny spike of dopamine. A small reward, a quick hit of novelty. It feels harmless. It feels normal. It feels automatic. But over time, your brain adapts to that speed. Now, anything slow feels unbearable. Reading a book feels heavy. Studying feels exhausting. Working deeply on one task feels almost painful, not because you can't focus, but because your brain expects stimulation every few seconds. Focus requires something modern life rarely gives you: discomfort. Deep work is quiet, and quiet feels unfamiliar. Sitting with one task means sitting without constant reward, without instant feedback, without rapid novelty, without escape. And your brain has been trained to avoid that space. But there's another layer to this that most people never talk about. Sometimes you don't focus, because focusing means being alone with your thoughts. When the noise stops, the mind starts speaking. Unfinished goals, unresolved conversations, regrets, future worries, small doubts you keep ignoring. Mental clutter gets louder in silence. So your brain looks for distraction, not because it is weak, but because distraction is easier than confrontation. There's also something happening inside your nervous system. Even when you think you are relaxed, constant notifications keep your body slightly alert. Your system is always waiting for the next ping, the next vibration, the next update, the next tiny interruption. You are not just distracted. You are wired, and a wired brain struggles to slow down. Focus is slow. It builds gradually. It requires staying with something long enough for depth to appear. But your brain has been conditioned for speed, fast content, fast answers, fast rewards, fast switching, fast stimulation. So stillness feels unnatural, and depth feels tiring, and silence feels uncomfortable. You don't need more discipline. You don't need a new productivity hack. You don't need another motivational video. You need less stimulation, less noise, less input, less switching, less constant novelty. You need space. Because clarity is not created by adding more. It is created by removing what overwhelms you. You don't have a focus problem. You have a stimulation problem. And the moment you reduce the noise, even slightly, your mind will begin to slow down. And when your mind slows down, your focus comes back. Not because you forced it, but because you finally gave it room to breathe.